Live with a special guest today, Louis, mi manito. What's going on? Hold on. What am I? Oh, I know what happened. I'm like, what happened? My whole screen started switching. What's up, family? We're gonna have fun today.
Is our audio hot?
No, our audio's okay on my end.
No, I'm saying like, can everyone hear what we're saying?
Oh, yes. Yeah, don't be talking no technical terms. Why? You want me to, like, are we going to tell secrets in the background? Should I?
No, because sometimes exactly, like the conversation starts and that's part of the intrigue, right? Like of like having that conversation, like, oh, what can they be talking about? And the only thing that we would be talking about is like, hey, your timer is up there for like an hour.
Right, exactly. I have 2 timers now. Well, that's because I did a show in all scenes. Because
so you're trying to keep us down, like you're trying to keep yourself
I'm trying to keep me down, Louis, because you know all I do is talk. Like, and look at it. Oh my God. Listen,
we did it for 2 hours on Alicia's show, like nothing. So that's why I said
exactly. Listen, it was last January when I did the 5-hour stream right after New Year's. Diana came on. It was like a rotating thing for 5 hours. We ain't have nothing to do. I'm not doing that. I mean, that's good for your watch time, right? Like,
yeah. Because if you got somebody here for 5 hours, that's 5 hours, right?
Right.
And depending on how many people show up to your stream, if you can have them there for the majority of the time, it's however long you went times that number.
Exactly.
When you talk about like a video, right? Like even a best video is 5 minutes. So that means you would need 6 people to watch that video, if I'm correct, right? Or maybe even more.
Yeah. So Louis is giving away gems now. So wait.
To actually just
you're giving away gems.
1 hour.
Yes.
To get 1 hour of watch time, right? You have to have multiple people watch that 1 5-minute video in its entirety comparative to live streams.
Exactly.
For those of you who are looking to increase watch hours, live streaming is
where is at. And that's it. We can end the stream. We already gave them the tip of the day. Okay, let me end the stream. We did our good deed as live streamers, so we're done. We can end it.
Let's end it while we're ahead.
That's it, exactly. Before it becomes a train wreck. Exactly. What is cracking, fam? How are you guys doing? So I already gave you a sneak peek of us having a special guest. Let me move some of this stuff around. I'm trying to figure out the right placement for the timing. And who do we have here? What's up, big brother, Mr. Camera Junkie in his house? Let's make this a little bit smaller. Oh no. What happened? Lock your scenes, India. What happened here? Let me see. Well, while we wait for India to lock her stuff.
Didn't you make a video on that?
Shut up. Me. No.
You know what? Let's while you're doing that, I'm just gonna tell you that you got off easy yesterday because I made that comment as a joke and everyone literally took like I came to your defense as far as if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all.
Why? What was the joke? I missed the joke. That one went over my head.
Well, the joke that I said nothing at all, like I meant like there was a whole lot to say in parentheses, and everybody was like, even Paul Duncan was like, Mr. Camera Junkie said that we shouldn't say anything, nice. And I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be the roast of India.
Right. And you see me moving. I'm moving all of this around because I'm trying to move. Let me see. Oh, hold on. So that's okay, there it is. So now it's linked. Let's get this back to, hi guys. Let us know who's in on the comments. Let me get my life together today. Oh my God, wait, there's mad comments. First of all, wow. Mad comments. I didn't have the comment box up, so we're gonna go straight to the comments. I'm trying to figure out, I was trying to do all of this stuff here. So let's make this a little bit smaller. All right, so something is happening, as you can see. Oh, I know why. All right. So can we do Control Z? I'm going to get to the comments, y'all. Ooh, look at all of this Control Z's. All right, so we're just gonna leave this here. Lock my scenes. You know what? Hey, Daniel, what's going on? The first comment that I zone in on is Daniel telling me, all right, enjoy dinner. I appreciate you, Daniel. Enjoy dinner. You like that clock? See, you guys are looking at the clock. I did that for a reason. So let's get this. I'm probably going to make this a little bit smaller. And then, because you guys in the community love to like keep an eye on stuff, you're going to make sure that we stay and lock it down. You know what? All right. So before I do the official intro for Mr. Camera Junkie, what is going on? Whoever this, I feel like this is Mr. Riley always says West Side. So this is someone on Facebook, and you would know we are now 96 days to go. I did it right today. Yes, 96 days to go. We are on day 4 of the 100 days of live streaming. Thank you so much for tuning in and all of these shenanigans. We are going to have a good time. Whoosh, cracking. We're here for it all, and you want to hear it all. Thank you. We're a good-looking couple. Puerto Ricans, we look good together. It's our little bit of melanin and not little bit of, although I got to fix my lighting. I don't know how I'm feeling about my lighting. And then Mr. Camera Junkie, because he's in Florida, he gets the sunlight all the time. I'm just jealous. And yes, K-Walk, I went to Lids. So I pay for the membership with Lids because I love these fitted hats, because when my curls get too unruly, Mr. Camera Junkie also has this issue with his curls getting too unruly. So, right. But I said, all right, it's time to, start repping Philly, because I'm always repping Brooklyn. So yes, I am trying to rep. What is going on, Gigi? How are you? The teasers, the hook, right? He's throwing out. He was giving in all the information. Let's see. If you don't remember, you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me. You know what?
I like that.
All right, y'all are on fire today. I see this. We haven't even gotten, we're like 7 minutes into the stream, and it's like, seems to be a big mess happening right now. I don't know what happened, Daniel. I promise. I'm not sure what was going on with all of my failure to lock scenes. Hey, girl. Hey. Just been here. I've been sitting here just yapping that if you don't have anything nice to say, freeze was the motto of the charm etiquette school my mom made me attend in 6th grade. Yes. And yes, Carlos, we have Mr. Camera Junkie in the house. So let's go and let's do an official. Thank you, Mr. Camera Junkie, for coming through. I appreciate you. Why don't you give them a plug?
Thank you for having me.
Who are you? Who's Mr. Camera Junkie? Why are you here?
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to take the time to let everyone know who doesn't know. My name's Luis, also known as Mr. Camera Junkie. I'm a photographer, videographer, and video editor from South Florida, right here in Miami. Yeah, good weather, like she had mentioned before. Who I am is a single father to a special needs boy. My miracle man, Aiden, as I call him, he was born 4 months prematurely and was given less than 25% chance of survival when he got here before his first operation or complication. And that came the next day. So it's been a roller coaster. And the last 6 years, this young man has taught me more about life than I had learned in my previous 35. So, with that being said, it's taught me to make the most of every day, which is exactly the biggest reason why I'm here with you today, because there's no time to waste. Like, why put off for tomorrow what we can do today? And for that, I'm trying to make the most of everything. And just doing that, a lot of doors have opened up for me, a lot of opportunities. And I've just been blown away with the feedback, the community that has been established, my camera junkies, and in such short amount of time, how it's already transformed my life. So that's who I am. That's a little bit about me. And if you want to get to know more, I'm always available on my live streams every Saturday, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube.
Hey. Oh my God. So I messed up. I didn't put none of Mr. Camera Junkies in for me. I am a horrible host today. I feel I feel like this 100, listen, I'm supposed to be progressing with this 100 days of live streaming with today and what happened yesterday. I feel like I've regressed a little bit. So I might have to reevaluate because I am, wow. And today it's
No,
just
because you
seltzer
see,
water.
this is what we're doing. What we're doing is that everything's coming to the light. From
Hmm.
past experiences,
Hmm.
there's nothing going to be hidden behind the green
Right.
screen.
Oh,
Okay,
there's no more
there's going
green
to be
screen.
nothing.
That's it.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
That was
Like
good.
nothing gonna be hidden behind it anymore, and everything's now up in front. So even the smallest details, we're
Yeah.
gonna be able to, iron out and take care of. So
Oh my goodness. All right. So I do have the timer and I feel like so I'm in Diana's in her community under Mighty Networks, her Video Simplified community. If you don't know about Diana Gladney's Video Simplified community, I would definitely check it out. She has amazing content and she is very active in the community. She does member only live streams where she shows, like today is supposed to be, well, not supposed to, today is a class at 7 p.m. our time, me and Lewis's time, Eastern Standard, on like YouTube research and analytics. Like she is like insane. So if you are looking to continue to level up and you're looking for another mentor, definitely check out Diana Gladney's Video Simplified community. With that being said, so that's why I put the timer up. My next business appointment is tonight at 8:30. So I have time technically. I had committed to do the live stream, but I don't know, like I may like have to watch Diana's replay cuz I think you and I are going to have fun and I don't know if we're going to be able to do this in 37 minutes.
we'll
I
do
think
our
I told you
best.
to come on the wrong night.
You asked me, and I put it up there. I was like, tomorrow night's okay, and you're like, sure. So I'm like, hey, no problem, but
I
we'll
didn't
we'll
think
work
this
it out.
through. We'll work it out. We'll work it out,
But the
you
thing
know.
is, I don't think it's gonna be the last time, seeming that we got 96 other days where we could,
Oh yes.
have another
Yes.
visitation.
Yes.
The
All
other
right.
thing
So,
is that I don't think you really regressed. I think it's just
oh,
with
thank you.
me, it's more like family. So
Exactly.
it's
We're
like,
just chilling.
you know,
We're
like
just chilling.
so.
That's it. So, all right, all right. So we're gonna be goofy, and I did say so. Supposedly, supuestamente, my topic today was supposed to be about live streaming locations. So we'll definitely talk about your experience with your live streaming locations when you streamed from the bathroom. I did go to your YouTube channel today, and I did check that out. And so twofold. And so the woman in me with ovaries. And so we're going to be goofy and I'm going to ask you, but it's a serious question. So although I'm a lesbian, right? Like I have no attraction to you. Maybe if you were a woman, and not that you're an ugly guy, but you're not just my cup of tea. However,
Okay,
I will say, I know this is like, you already see how this is going. This is why I'm like, I don't know about this timer because we're going to have fun. Look, I'm even sitting up in the edge of my
I'm
seat.
intrigued.
And thank God Angie is secure in our relationship because she is here, and so I think she understands where I'm gonna go with this. If not, I'll just handle that argument later on tonight. So as a woman with ovaries, I was like, oh
Uh,
my God, that's so amazing. When your son came in, he was a little cranky and stuff like that. Look, Paul's like, where is this going? Right in the back.
Me and Paul are
Louis
like,
is waiting. And so, your son came in and you were hugging him and you were such a good, and I was like, oh my God, that's just so attractive. Like, and this is coming from the lesbian that I was like,
mhm,
and I don't even want kids. Not that, let me not, no, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. It's not that I don't want kids. I have no desire to be pregnant, right? Like, I'm that type of lesbian. I want
I
a
got
family, but I'm not, listen, you're not going to see me pregnant. Like, me and Angie have spoken about this. That is just not my flow, right? But definitely the single father in you, and maybe because I know you personally, that I know that you're a good dude, but like it's just something about seeing that and seeing you interact with your son really is like, okay, well, this is intriguing. Look at Simply Obs is like, hey, I'm with you. And so then the next comment was, how you did your introduction.
Oh, actually, that was me. I'm sorry. I'm
But
sorry.
that was perfect.
I thought you did it, and I was like, "Oh, that
No,
was me." My
no, that
bad.
was you. But that's all right. So then the other thing was when you did your introduction about being a single father and telling the story, like there was my ovaries again. So now here comes the question. Do you get women that just like, let's be real. Like you need to be real with me. Talk to me and not the community. Do women be like throwing themselves at you? Like they be like trying to hit it?
No,
Why?
because well, you also listen. Let me also explain. I
Well,
I
that was
can see the
sad. Like
possibility.
what?
I can see the possibility, but no, because that's not something that I'm putting myself out there to do.
Mm,
So I'm also not in places
right.
looking for women. So
Right.
my main priority is this little guy
Yeah.
and what my mission is to accomplish so that I can make the best life for him. You
Right.
know, before him, I found to be that I was just someone who would be pretty much complacent, right? Like
Right.
that I was happy with what I was able to accomplish.
Yeah.
But with him here, it's no longer about me.
Yeah.
It's about him, which you could probably hear him in the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
background now.
Yeah.
And uh, because of that, all of my efforts, right? Like when people sometimes might feel unmotivated,
Yeah.
my motivation is very clear. I
Yeah.
wake up with him next to me like every day, and he is my main priority. So all of my efforts, they're all rooted in making everything the best for him.
I think I'm
With
in
that
love with
being
you.
said, right now at the point of my life that I'm at, that's, a relationship is the last thing that I'm thinking about. So I'm also not available in that aspect
Right.
to make myself available for compliments or having women do that to
I
me.
got you. I got
I
you.
appreciate
So you're very welcome. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. So simply obs. So Gretchen is dying laughing. It's so funny. Angie must have stepped away because like now is when she's getting the kids ready for dinner. Because I know she would have 100% commented or text me, and she hasn't done anything. Unless she's like, so we're waiting. Let's see. So now that I'm mentioning it, we'll
You'll
see if
catch
she
it on
comes
the
up and
replay.
right, exactly. She's gonna be like, hold on, do we need to talk? Like, And then Obs says, she says, hey, I was wondering that too. Geez, it's very attractive, right? Because there's just like this superpower. And now Gretchen says, and now my heart is overflowing. You were just talking about it, just does something. And that's why I said it's the ovaries. It has, wait, look, she's here. Damn it, Lewis. I'm going to text you because I may need a place to stay. Oh, wait, I live on my own. Damn it. All right, hold on. But how about Paul? Paul, I think, is the best out of it all. Paul says, India, don't you know that Mr. Camera Junkie and I are secretly married, according to Doc?
According to Doc.
According to Doc.
I
Well,
bet
wait,
I
wait.
bet when after he said that, he had so many people's heads spinning that I'm
Bro,
like,
that was
listen,
like last month or something. I caught that. I remember that. And I know we was like, I think that like me, you, Paul, we're all looking at the camera, knowing we're looking at each other, like making eye contact. That was the funniest thing ever. And Paul is Doc is, what is it? He can marry you guys technically. So be careful because he might have whatever that's called. He's ordained. Doc is ordained. He has married his friends in Hawaii. So be careful. Fuck around. You find out that you are married.
no worries. Because I might have a smile on my face, but I tell everyone, that dude
Yo.
that that was like, I will never get married again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
That's
you.
me, but
Yeah.
with a smile on my face.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So she's like, what did I miss, babe? I can't even ask one of your friends in the group if you want to. If not, you're just gonna have to hit rewind on YouTube
Restart
and
the
then just come
stream.
back because we're not. You missed it all, honey. I can't. Mr. Riley
No,
says this is
Angie,
a
you
great
restart
conversation.
the stream and you put it on like 1.5 times so that you can catch up
Right.
to
Really
real
quick.
time and you
There you
get
go.
the
That's a
entire
secret. Yeah.
conversation and you catch up.
There you go. So 1.5 times replay, babe, and then just start, and then you'll be two with us again, and you'll get it, and then you can come back and give us comments. That's so funny. Mr. Riley says, "Great conversation, funniest thing I've heard all week." But it's a real thing, right? Like, and no disrespect or anything crazy, but especially now because women are like, I feel like women have gotten more bold lately in the last whatever many years, 5, 10 years, I don't know. And so that's one. And then going back to what you were further saying on a serious note without goofing around about your mind not being open to it in your heart, right? That's your heart and your mind. It belongs to Aiden right now. So you're not, I get that.
Absolutely.
Because even like with, so Angie and I were best friends for 3 years, and I was engaged, she was married, and we've never, like, we never crossed the line. We never, like, I was completely dumbfounded when I found out. So back when, all the stuff happened last year that I was staying with my brother in Pittsburgh, she was just being there for me as my best friend. And we were just talking. And I will admit that I was a little inebriated. And liquor makes you talk and be
Yeah, we
honest,
call it
right? Like,
liquid courage.
you know exactly. So I had the liquor courage. I'm not gonna front, right? Like, so I said something like "you cute" or some shit like that. I don't know. I was trying to spit whatever game I had. Probably, and the only
Okay.
reason was, but now I'm single, right? Like that was a big part of it. So then the thought process changed because when we were best friends initially, she was married, I was engaged. So our minds were never there. And then even after when she started going through her separation and her divorce, it was never like for me, oh, let me, see whatever it is. And then when you talk to her, she'll say the same thing. It was never that, oh, I'm single now. Let me try to get at India. Um, and then that evening, whatever time, whenever it was that I said what it was, she was like, from when I met you, I always thought you were attractive. And I was like, say less. Like, what? Like, I
You
said,
got very
no.
close to the
I did.
microphone.
I got very close to the microphone. I was like, tell me more. Like, what? No way. But
Wait,
that
wait,
was
say it in
because
this year too? Hold up.
this was not the turn of events that was planned for this live stream, but we are going to have fun today. Darn it.
Hmm.
Carlos says compassion is universally attractive. The beard doesn't hurt either. I mean, the compassion part I agree with. I don't know. I have no feelings on the beard. That's what I'll say. Um but on a serious note, like I totally get that.
Appreciate
And
the
when we
compliment.
yes, exactly. Um and when we talk about it after the fact, because it was that once I guess our minds and our hearts opened up to that possibility of there being a physical attraction. And clearly, and you know how it is when you're friend. I think for me, if you're friends with someone, even like if me and you are friends or me and Doc, there's attraction there. It's just a different level of attraction. It's not a sexual attraction, but you're attracted to this person because we have the same interests and stuff like that. So as friends, naturally you're going to be attracted to that person, right? And that's what brings you together. So we naturally had an attraction to each other. We had great intellectual conversation. She's goofy like me. So all of those things were there. The only thing that was genuinely closed off to both of us was that physical attraction because we never saw each other like that. It was just like my homie, like that's just we chilling. And then that night, and then that's all that she wrote, like for real, for real. That's all that she wrote. And then we'll keep it, we'll keep it PG.
Okay.
That's it. But yes.
But I understand because what actually ends up happening is that throughout time, you can't expect to be considered to be the same person that you were 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or 20 years ago. So
Yep.
if you're not the same person, then most likely the needs and wants of that person are not going to be the same at that point either.
Right.
And you tend to see people that you wouldn't have thought as before in a completely different light because
Paul
attractive people,
Paul is
like let's be
blushing.
honest, Paul's
Paul,
blushing.
yeah. Good.
No, but look, attractive people are everywhere, right? Like
Right.
if
Yeah.
and I don't know how it is for everyone else, but especially here in Miami, like go
Yeah.
to South Beach, attractive people everywhere.
Yeah. 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 For
But
real.
what really makes the difference is the connection that you have with that person. So you can see an attractive person and have a friendship with them without ever thinking even mentally of taking it to that next level, but it's only until you reach that different place within yourself where
Mm-hmm.
you're not even the same person, and now when you
Yeah.
see them in a new light,
Yeah.
then you're able to reciprocate on the physical because it wasn't like it was ever a deterrent. It
Yeah.
just was never a factor.
Right. Oh, look at you. All right, hold on. We gonna do a whole. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Carlos says, hard not to feel deeply moved when we observe a parent's unconditional and deeply serving love for their child, especially a sacrificial love for their special needs child. 100% I agree with that, right? And that could just be what it is. Like, it's the humanitarian in a person, the compassion. And it's, I think, so just the way I said that, I feel like women have gotten a lot more bold in the last whatever many years that they go after what they want. And it's like, listen, this is what I want. I want you, and then I want you to get out, right? I think it's also now when you do see the compassion and when it's very rare, so that when you do see a circumstance like that, it heightens the emotions because it's so like, you know, if you find a freaking golden ticket, that's rare. You can't find a golden ticket anywhere. So when you find a golden ticket, it's like euphoria. That's a better way, right? Like it creates this euphoria and your endorphins are going. So I think with the compassion and the responsibility, it's, you know, unfortunately, I don't want to say that that's not the normal, but that's not what's put in the spotlight, right? It's like from us, first of all, people, you don't, I would say from my experience, there aren't men who are out there boasting that they're single fathers, and not boasting in a negative way, but like rep, because you'll see a woman will be the first one to be like, I'm a single mother. I'm doing it on my own. Right.
I don't need him. I'm the mother and the father.
Right. Exactly. I'm the mommy and a daddy. Ow. Right. Like, again, I don't even know how we took this turn of events for my conversation, but that's okay. We're going to roll with it.
Like you said, boxing, you roll with the punches, so you just go with it.
That's it. Exactly. But, you know,
But that's what makes good interviews,
That's
according to Doc Rock. So
it's true
continue.
though. No, 100%. So you don't, in retrospect, you don't see where men are really giving themselves credit so that people can see what it is, right? Because men is like, all right, I'm gonna be on the grind. I don't need the spotlight. So that when you do see that, because it's so rare, it's like it makes people stop in their tracks, regardless of what it is. And that's probably a better way to really. And it's weird because my parents divorced when they were younger. My dad was always, I was fortunate enough that I always had my mom and my dad, even when they divorced and stuff. And my dad was very, very committed. He made sure that he stood around regardless of what was happening, and he wanted to kill my mother. But that never, it's a fucking killer. That never deterred him from being there, you know. And there was a point in my brother. So I'm 10 years older than my brother and sister. My parents both had me when they were very young. So my mom was 16 and my dad was 18. So I grew up with my parents. My brother and sister, they were, you know, so my sister is 7 years younger than me and my brother is 10 years younger than me. So they had a little bit. And plus, you know, I was, what is it? Como se dice? I was their experiment. So whatever they fucked up in with parenting, they were able to figure it out.
I'm sorry, you got me calling yourself an experiment. That's not what I would have said, but I understand. Let's just say the learning period, like the learning period.
It's true. And you guys see, I love my mom. Like I have a great relationship with my mom. And when my dad was still alive, I had a very great relationship with my dad.
Yeah,
but I was
Puerto
their
Rican buttercup.
experience.
Yep.
Right. Fucking lady, Puerto Rican. Esa mujer. Like, and she's sweet. I mean, my mom is cute. I'm not going to front. But, you know, from her daughter's perspective, I'd be like, chill. Anyway. But there was a point with my brother and sister that my dad, my mom was over it, because being a single parent, woman or man, that shit is fucking hard. And this is coming from someone who's not a parent at all, because the dogs don't count. But you know, I watch Angie and I have my other friends and stuff like that. My mom just got to the point where she was like, I'm done. You take your kids. Right. And my dad said, okay. And they did the court thing and it was fairly amicable, but they went to court and my dad got full legal custody of both my brother and sister, and he was there for it. like,
That's awesome.
and had their ups and downs and stuff like that. But I can see that from both perspectives, where my mom did it from a single mom's point of view once, I was out of the house. And then my dad also did it from a single dad's point of view. And then once we were old enough that we moved out, they both were very supportive of all of us. Like, up until my dad passed away, my sister was almost pretty much living with him, to help him, but then vice versa, he was helping her. So he was still very active with us in our lives, until I'm like, I was 37 when my dad passed away. My brother and sister were in their late 20s, right? And I guess for me, that's also why I find it's important to me, because I know the struggles. So as I've grown and matured, one of the things, and I was going to bring this up on the International Women's Night stream with Jillian, one of the things that I feel like has helped me with compassion from a parenting standpoint from my parents with that shit, although I was an experiment, I cut them slack now, because I think about you can laugh. Louis, that's all right. You can laugh. I turned out pretty okay. I got my own house. I make over 6 figures. I'm a banker. Like, I turned out their experiment. That was a successful experiment from America Cruz and Jose Delgado. They got the thumbs up, right? Like, that was a successful experiment. Excuse me. But wait, I lost train of thought. What was I going to tell you, Louis? Oh, about the compassion from understanding. I think about it now, and what I think about, and you tell me, like, put yourself in this perspective. When my mom was 32, she had a 16-year-old daughter. Like, I think about that shit, and my dad was 34. When I was 32, I was not any type of, or even now, so I'm 39 now, I would have had I don't know. I'm a bank. We were just talking about this. I'm not a banker. Hold on, let me get my calculator and let me do the math. So 39, I'm not a banker. I'm literally with the calculator. 23. I didn't use a calculator for that. I don't work at the bank full time. I don't crunch you guys' numbers from a mortgage perspective and tell you guys how much of a mortgage you can qualify for. No.
Not at all.
Not at all. But right, like at the age of 39, so if I were my mom in my mom's shoes, she had a 23-year-old. So how old were you when you had your son?
Actually, I was 35. So,
Okay. So
talking
think about
about
it.
that,
So
like,
35, do the math. So if you were, so let's say if you had a teenager, 18, 19,
listen,
how would you feel? What do you think?
I don't even know, because that's another thing. Like, talking about this, I've joked around about it because
Yeah.
I'm considered a unicorn even prior to having Aiden, because I was a Puerto Rican 35-year-old male in South Florida with no kids.
Yeah. So
So
I hold
just
on,
like,
hold on. So I'm gonna write unicorn down, because there's apparently another go ahead. Another definition for that Angie told me about earlier today. And then we're not going to talk about why she knows that definition, but go ahead.
okay, I don't know the other one. This is just kind of like a
Okay.
mythological
That's
creature.
okay.
Like,
Right.
do you
Exactly.
really
Right.
exist? Like,
Right.
when did they make you? But
Right.
um, that's why even after the fact, I was married. We
Yeah.
had purchased the house, and we were trying to do everything. You know how they say, the right way. Um, when we were effectively trying to have Aiden,
Yeah.
and when he showed up, he crashed the party.
Yeah.
We were in the midst of planning for a baby shower when our whole world was flipped upside down. And right there, it taught me one of the biggest things, that is, like, you can plan for a bunch of stuff. Just doesn't mean it's gonna happen. And that's why, just like live streaming is another great example of
Yeah.
life. Like, you can plan for things, you can set up overlays,
Yeah.
but if you don't lock them down, they're
Right.
gonna go everywhere.
You're such a jerk. I should have seen where that was going. Whatever. Hold on. Lewis is no longer a part of this stream, ladies and gentlemen. His internet connection has gone on, and for the next 15 minutes, we're going to be talking about. Well, that took a turn.
But it is exactly that, right? That
Yeah.
what it taught me was that you could really only handle what's on your plate. right? You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
plan for things, but it's a hypothetical, it's ethereal. We hope for that outcome, but it's never really like certain. It's never certain. So we hope for things and we planned for that eventuality, which is what we have to do,
Yeah.
right? Like for this live stream, we planned ahead of time so that we can, synchronize our times to make sure that we're able to produce a live stream.
And that was all the
But
planning
let's
we did because I didn't do any more planning outside, as you
I
can
didn't
see.
even know what we were going to talk about, but it
Right.
didn't matter because we weren't staying
Exactly.
on topic. So,
Exactly. Go
but
ahead. I'm
just like
sorry.
dinner, right? Like everyone is probably going to have dinner tonight,
Yeah.
and even though you maybe not sure what you were gonna have for dinner, or
Yeah.
you knew that you had to take certain steps to actually get that to be your outcome. Whether
Yeah.
it be like I'm missing some ingredients, so I have to stop at the grocery store, or prepping the food before, or like when you get home, so that
Yeah.
you can eventually have that outcome. So that's how we have to live our lives. We have to prepare the mise en place, so to speak, of our lives and do our best to set things up for the hopes of our eventuality, right? For the
Yeah.
things. But in
Yeah.
all sincerity, nothing is guaranteed. Next week is not guaranteed. So we have to make the
Yeah.
most of our every day. And that's the like what I've been trying to do the most of
Yeah.
since Aiden has been born.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's so exactly where my compassion comes from with my parents is they were doing, and me and Angie talk about this, and Angie, I'm sure she's probably going to love you even more now because, and not that I forgot, I just didn't put two and two together. Her dad got her for full custody when she was like 5 or 6, and her dad, it was just her and her dad for her whole life. It's been still her and her dad, you know. So she says that she has a soft spot for single parents, especially dads. So whatever we said in the beginning will be forgiven now because you'll have a soft spot. That was good.
You still
Yes.
trying to cover your tracks. You're like, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Um, but exactly with what you're saying about making the best, right? That's what me and Angie talk about with both of our parents because they were, young and not knowing, for the lack of better words, not knowing what the hell they were doing. And it was
Hmm.
like, all right, so we'll just throw some shit at the wall and see what
But you
sticks,
see,
right? Like,
that's what you learn as an adult, right? Like, and
yeah,
this is the secret, right? As an adult, what you end up learning is that your parents never had it figured out.
yeah,
Like, that's the whole thing. Like, you
yep,
get to a level of maturity, right? Where, like, right now, I can speak to my father like at an even playing field when it comes to being a father, providing for children.
yeah,
Because even though I haven't lived as long as he has, I've lived a lot of the same experiences so that now, we can bounce ideas off of each other, so to speak. Even
yeah,
though he's kind of done raising his children, it's still kind of like I said, more of like an even playing field comparative to when we were a lot younger and you see your parents as
yeah,
like they know it all, like
yeah,
that they got it all figured out.
yeah,
And what
yeah,
you find out as an
yeah.
adult is that they never did. We're
They were
just
nowhere
rolling
near
with the
close.
punches
Right.
the
No,
entire time, just
no, right.
boxing.
Exactly. And Stephanie Lou said that in her stream, about what she was thinking about her mom. So it's so funny you said that in the ladies, international ladies stream, that when you look at, your parents when you're younger, you exactly that. You think that they have it all figured out. And it's like, well, you got this. You know what it is. Whatever it is. And it's like they're just figuring it out. And for me, all of my compassion, that's where it is with my mom and, even with my dad and stuff like that before he passed away. It was, I'm amazed like at the fact that they were babies. Like I always say when I describe me and my relationship with my parents was they grew up with me. So as I'm growing up, right? Because I think about it when you're okay, I'm 16. And when I was 16, that's when I first told my mom that I was gay and that I like girls. So clearly I'm figuring it out. But when I was 16, my mom was 32 and my mother handled it gracefully. Both my mom and my parents. I'm grateful, right? But I can't imagine being 32 and having a sick, right? Like,
Well,
right. Look at your
actually, you know what?
stress.
That could have been no, but let's be real. That could have been the saving grace to the whole thing,
Yeah,
that they were actually a lot closer to your age group to actually
maybe.
understand that a lot better.
Yeah,
Let's take that for
yeah.
example. I grew up with old school Pentecostal like grandparents and
Mm,
parents.
yeah,
Like, if there was a huge age difference, they'll be like, "Ah, Satana," and
right.
forget it, and they'll be sending you to church and having people come visit you.
Right.
So it's just, how it all works, right?
Yeah,
So I think that that could have been a blessing in disguise, because if they still had more of that old school
I
mentality,
agree. Yep.
it probably would have been a lot more detrimental. Could have
Yeah,
taken
I
a
agree.
completely different turn.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So Paul, being silly, I've been called daddy, but I don't have any kids. All right, Paul, we're not going to go down that. We will not go down that.
I'm trying to hold it, man. I'm
You
trying to
were.
hold it, and
You were trying to be some. Not so much. Not so much. Simply Obs says, yes, I get it. In my mind, I had all things planned out. I was 34 in San Francisco making money. I'll get married and stuff. Nope. And look at her now, right? Like you can't control anything because, like you said, you never know what tomorrow's going to be like and how your life will, be flipped. Carlos says, Lewis, I just want to affirm your efforts in putting your child first. Most men don't have flexible enough psychology to raise a child on their own. You are a better version of yourself because of Aiden. Ooh, Carlos always be like,
thank you, sir. But
telling.
I have to concur. I have to 100% agree. He's made me better, 100%.
Yeah,
Things like I said, I used to be complacent. So there were
yeah,
times that if things didn't turn out my way, I would be like, "Up, like that's kind of like the cards that I was dealt."
yeah,
Now I advocate for my son. So it's like, no, because he needs it.
yeah,
So it's not no, it's this is the way that it needs to be. So
yeah,
I've
yeah.
changed myself for the better for him, and I know that is because of him.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's dope. That's dope. Let's see. So, hey, Christmas clatter, what's going on? That was like heavy but fun. See, those are the type of conversation I like to have. I like to have like real, heavy, and thoughtful, insightful conversations, but you throw in a little bit of like comedy and nobody even knew how heavy and how deep we got because we was too busy being stupid in the background. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. You
Sisters
have
talking.
fun, you joke around, but then you
That's
still
it.
sneak in that. That's
That's it.
like that Keith
Exactly.
Pelzer sneaker preach, you know
That
what I'm
is.
saying? Like,
That
you
is.
just throw in a little fundamentals in there.
I will say that that's how that's the one of the reasons why like I fell in love with Angie because that's how we are. Like we're always goofy, we're always in, but she's so smart, and so like we can sit and have an intellectual conversation, but you wouldn't even know, right? You wouldn't even
Great.
like. It's like oh, it's so good. Sisters Talking says I tell my adult children that as a parent, I did the very best as an instruction without an instruction manual. Awesome, India, that you gave your parents grace. Thank you so much. It's important, I think, from us as the children that's important to recognize because and this I can't speak from experience. So Lewis, I'd love to hear if I'm right along the thought process was is I feel like it's important that I tell my mom whatever it was, whatever mistakes and whatever like hardships we went through, or if you feel like you fucked up, I'm like, you were the best mom that you can be. And I am so grateful. Right. So would that be important? Like, how do you think if your son were to tell you that in 15, 20, well, Aiden, as you said, 6. So in let's say 30 years where he's 36 and he sits and, tells you, don't worry about it. Like you were working with what you got. I'm sure that as a parent, that'll be feel so validating. Like that'll I can only imagine. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, that would be an amazing event. Um, I could only wish for something that awesome.
Yeah.
When it comes to Aiden, there's still a lot of things up in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one thing that I can, like, reciprocate with that, because when it comes to Aiden, I would I would wish that that would happen, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that would be awesome for me.
Yeah.
But my main goal is that I'm trying to make everything awesome for him.
Yeah.
What I can say is that I have recognized, and like you said, you appreciate
Yeah.
what your parents did for you, because you recognize the sacrifices that you make for your children. And then the only place that you can go back to is your own parents, and just the thought
Yeah.
of the types of sacrifices that they could have done or been making for you
Yeah.
at that time when you had no idea.
Yeah.
And then you appreciate what they've done for you so much more.
Yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, within the last 5 years that I had Aiden, or the last 6 years since he's been born, um, I've lost quite a substantial amount of family members as well. I've
Mm.
lost my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I lost my sister first,
Mm.
then my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
then my mother, and just last year my brother.
Mm.
And dealing with the ups and downs of Aiden
Yeah.
and his challenges,
Yeah.
and dealing with my own personal loss, it really
Mm.
hammered home that
Yeah.
feeling of, like,
Yeah.
you have to make the most of today,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you really have no
Yep.
guarantee. And
Yep.
where a lot of people could sit there and crumble,
Mm-hmm.
and like Doc says, your excuse is valid, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
change anything.
Yep.
So that's the mentality that I've had since that,
Yeah.
just making sure that I do the most for my son, and
Yeah.
make sure that I leave like nothing on the table.
Yeah.
Like, all energy spent, all efforts exhausted,
Yeah.
everything that I can do. And one thing that I know at the end of my days is that I just won't have any regret when it comes to that.
Yeah.
So because of that appreciation that I have for my father now,
Yeah.
that newfound appreciation, I
Yeah.
also take every Sunday to go visit my father. I
Yeah.
take Aiden
Yeah.
to go see him, and
Yeah.
make sure that I make the most of the time that I have with him while he's here, because
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people who only get to see their parents once or
Yeah.
twice a year,
Yeah.
right? And when you're seeing them for summer and for Christmas or for Thanksgiving and things like that, people see it as years, but then they don't really remember that it's only occasions. So
Yeah.
now,
Mm-hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
you start counting how many more occasions or how many more events you
Yeah.
have left with your parents, you will then start thinking about it completely different, because, like we said, you plan for the best, right? But
Yeah.
like, you still roll with the punches. So
Yep.
the way that I see it is like, how many summers do I have left with my father, or how many
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Thanksgivings, or, Christmases. And when you
Yeah.
put that number into scale, you start realizing that it's a whole lot less than the amount of time that you hypothetically think you have in your
Yep.
mind, because
Yep.
you're not really spending all of the time with them, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
6 out of my 7 days every week, I do not see my father.
Yeah.
So the majority of my time is
Yep.
away from him. And
Yeah.
even though we're in communication, it's not really the same. So
Yep.
I'm doing my efforts the most that I can. And as consistent as I am with my live streams,
Yeah.
bringing it full circle,
Yeah. Full circle.
I am also consistent on making sure that I'm taking the time to spend with him on Sundays as well.
Yes. Oh my God. So that's amazing. And so once this chat is over, we're going to put Lewis's Tinder profile in the
You
description.
need to
And
stop.
if and I'll put all of his contact information. And if you would like a date with this unicorn, and we're going to talk about the unicorn that Angie told me about, but if you would like a date with this Puerto Rican unicorn, who's such an amazing man, you'll find his info in the description below after the live stream. I had to do the plug for you, Lewis. Come on. Like,
You're
I don't
gonna
want you to
send
be
people on a
lonely.
wild goose
Right?
chase looking for a profile that doesn't exist. 'Cause I'm not on it. He'll be like, he's on there. He's on
No,
there.
he's
Like,
on
no,
there.
not at all.
Right? Oh my goodness. Let's see. So let's just go into some comments. Sister's
That's
Talking
so
says,
funny.
I was 25 having my first son and I thought I was young, right? Like that's, you think about it and it's true when now as you get older and as you emotionally grow, I thought I knew it all in my 20s. I thought I knew it all when I was 30, when I was 35, and I'm 39. And now I'm like, I have so much more to learn, right? The thought process now is no longer, I think I know it all. Now it's like, all right, I'm growing every day and I'm going to learn something new. And for me, it's that hunger of how quickly can I learn and experience life because life is short. Christmas Clatter, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Says, I have 4 kids. My oldest son just turned 18, and I just love what our relationship has turned into. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. That's amazing. And then Angie said, I was waiting for Angie to chime in because some of the things that you were saying about what you hope for your son, she says very similar things about her kids. So she says, I'm doing all I can for my kids and hope that as they get older, they will appreciate and try to understand that I always did the best that I could. Right? Like she's very hard on herself. And I'm like, all right, there. And that's what I tell her. Keep doing your best. So for me, I talk from the child's perspective, knowing my relationship with my parents. And I always know that it was my parents always did their best. So I remind Angie of that, of keep doing your best, because as long as you're always there, you're always present. There are going to be times that they may say they hate you. They're going to curse you out. But once that maturity comes full circle, they'll show the appreciation. Like it'll just reap its own benefits as long as you just keep being present, even if you fall on the ground, get back up and dust yourself off again. What I can say as a child, that's what I always remembered, that, yeah, my parents made not the best decisions. But they made the best with what they could, and then they tried to do better at every opportunity. So,
I just also, have to say that I'm also the third of 4 children, so
yeah.
they already made plenty of mistakes before they got to me. Just-
Well, that's nice. Let me go have a conversation with your siblings. Damn it.
I just had to sprinkle that in there right now.
Whatever. That's so funny. As we're talking, my brother just texted me, and it's a phone call, and not that we don't talk, but so I ignored him, but I'm texting him just to make sure that he's all right. Probably needs something. That's the reality, but you never know. So especially when like family and close friends, I'll try not to not ignore you altogether. It'll be, listen, I'm doing a live stream. Are you okay? And as long as you give me that okay, then I try not to blow off a text message or a phone call, because you never know. Let's see. This conversation is blessing me right now. Thanks so much. You're very welcome. This was unexpected. This is totally ad lib. We knew we were going to have fun. Completely ad lib, and sometimes those make the very best conversations. Yes, Pastor Felicia, thank you for coming through. And my countdown timer is done, and we're at 6:58, and that's okay because I want to talk to you about a lot more. But I came on early because I was supposed to be attending a seminar that Diana's giving in her members only community that she does live. And I'm going to, what is it? It's better to ask for forgiveness than what it is for permission. So I'm going to ask for forgiveness and be like, yo, my bad, fam. Like, we were having a really good conversation. And I plugged your Video Simplified community, bro. So if you just had like 10 new members, I had to miss this stream, Diana, because I was talking about how great your Video Simplified community is. And if you don't know Diana Gladney, which I know the majority of you guys do know, she has her own community. It's called Video Simplified. It is on Mighty Networks. It is amazing. And she be dropping all the knowledge. Hopefully that gives me the forgiveness that I need for missing her stream tonight.
Once again, just sweeping up behind you, just making sure.
Listen. That's what happens when you're the oldest, Lewis. You know how to cover your freaking tracks, okay? Because then you got people that you can freaking blame it on. So that's what happens when you the oldest. Be like, yo, mom, I don't know. My sister's name is Sade. My brother's name is Joseph. I don't know. Did you ask Joe? Did you ask Sha? Because I was doing my schoolwork, and because oh my God, my brother and sister, listen, for real, I'm dead
You
ass.
look like a TikTok right now. Like, yo, did you ask?
For real, I need to. Let me see. Okay, good. Everything is okay with him. Let me tell him
Uh, too funny.
I'm on YouTube. I'm gonna tell him I'm on YouTube talking shit about you. Let's see if
That's
he
the way
comes
you do.
on. Let's see if he comes on. But damn it, I lost my train of thought. But I would know I was saying that like I blame both my brother and sister. I lost the joke. It
Yeah.
was gonna be a good joke, but it's all right.
No,
It's all
we
right.
were
Let's go
talking
back to the
about
comments.
exactly the conversation. You were gonna ask me something, saying that you were gonna ask Miss D for forgiveness.
Yeah. I don't know. My brain, because you guys know my brain, I'd be like squirrel, and then that's it. So,
Gotcha.
well, it'll come back to me eventually. Let's see. We have to be gentle on ourselves as parents. That's what Angie says. All right. Let's see. I'm just going in. My dad was 39 when I was born. 4 of 4 girls. Total accident. The oopsie. See, so that's the benefit that I have as a lesbian, that I get to completely plan it. There's no such thing as oops. So if I have a child, that is not a mistake. That is, I wanted you. I was 100% sure. Maybe. So anyway, someone on Facebook says, yo, yo, yo. I feel like this might be my friend Jessica because she did that the other day. But let me know who you are. Yo, 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 what's cracking? How you doing? We can do the whole what's popping, and then it came through. Whoever this is, someone knows, someone that is the family, they know what the deal is. Let's see. Paul says, I'm going back. Paul says, I just about have his Tinder ready.
He's setting up a profile. That's totally different. That has nothing to do with it. Oh, India, what did you start? Oh, Lord.
I don't know. Louis, I don't want you to be alone. I like you. You're such a good guy. I want to
Who
find you
said I'm
love.
alone? I have
I know.
Aiden, and he
You're
is
right. You're right. I
enough.
apologize. You're right. I want you to have a different type of an
Another thing
additional.
about it. Look, we can go there. Why
Okay.
is it that I'm actually not looking for anything? Well,
Yeah.
it's because I don't have time for it. Right now, with what I'm trying to establish for Aiden, for myself, my business, my future, right now it's kind of like pedal to the metal, and I have to focus on just this one thing
Yeah.
because I don't have time. And just like I said, like the same way that the reason that I don't have women throwing themselves at me is because I'm not at the locations where that would happen. You're
Yeah.
not gonna find me at a club on a Friday night because I'm here with Aiden and I'm grinding it out. I'm doing
Yeah.
other things that completely are 180 towards that interest. And like I wouldn't even be able to dedicate and
Yeah.
be someone good for a relationship at this moment, right?
Yeah.
Like I would never be around.
Listen,
Like
women like to fix people. Stop talking because they're going to be like, I talk the truth.
the
I'm a
thing
woman,
is
but I'm
there's
not keep it
nothing
real.
wrong here.
Right?
There's
No, I
nothing wrong here.
agree.
Like
But
there's
they
just
may want to
pedal to the
fix that
metal.
situation of it's okay.
Well,
We're not
let
going to
them
get,
talk.
that'll be,
Let them talk to Paul through my Tinder profile that he's gonna handle. Because
Paul
I'm
will be
not worried about it.
Paul will be the master moderator of your Tinder profile.
Yo, he's gonna start some catfishing thing that's gonna end up on A&E. I don't even know. Like I'm
It's
telling
gonna
you
show
right
up on
now,
MTV with
I
what is
have
it?
nothing to do
Um,
with it.
Neve Schulman catfish. You're gonna see Mr. Camera Junkie and this young lady from San Diego was
Oh,
thinking
let's
that she
stop.
was talking to a Mr. Camera Junkie in Miami. And it turned out
Oh,
that it was a 70-year-old gay man. I don't know how old you are, Paul. Don't take no offense. That was just, but from San Diego. And she was catfished. And then Neve says,
oh,
and when you never, okay, that's another episode for another day.
that's a whole nother episode, girl. Let's go. That's day 45
There
on
you go.
how many
Exactly.
days ago.
Exactly. Paul says,
That's
I was
another
close to my
live
father
stream.
when I was
Oh,
young, and when I got older, that in between was tough, but I still learned a lot from him. Yeah, I think, when we're going through our own, trying to figure out our own and come into our own personalities, that's where you have sometimes that butting heads with your parents and stuff. So, Carlos says parents need to give their children context when they're struggling as a parent so that the child doesn't make up their own story of why you were so mad or so sad or, oh, that's good.
That is
So
good.
not that one, this one, sorry. And what I will say, so like Angie's really good with that, and it amazes me because again, I have my own, I guess, perceptions from how I grew up, and especially as Puerto Ricans, like Puerto Ricans from Brooklyn. My parents, look at my mother, Puerto Rican buttercup. Like my mother is gully all the way. Like
Oh, that's too
anyway,
good.
right. But just to put that in context, so it was me that like get it together because you'll just get a pela. Like that's it. Like right, like you can get your ass beat.
I
And
was talking
so
to Doc about that, about like I would be at somebody's house and I'm thinking everything's cool, and I would just see my mom with this eyebrow raised, like just,
mira, see.
and I was like, oh, what did I do? And it was like, forget it. So I understand.
Right. So I say that, right, because I have my own preconceived notions of parenting or something, and I watch or I listen to her, and Angie is very open with her kids, even with them being at a younger age. She tries to have very open lines of communication and explain things and stuff like that. She calls it gentle parenting. I'm like, they need a fucking slap in the ass. But that's the Brooklyn in me.
Sometimes they do, but I like that approach from Angie because the one thing that I think us as parents we fall back on is that we kind of think our kids aren't as smart as they are,
Yeah.
or that they
Yeah.
won't comprehend something because it's complex.
Yeah.
But if you just take a little bit of time to, like I said, explain
Yeah.
so that they can comprehend,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes all the difference.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So, Sisters Talking was trying to get me back on track. I don't know. The thought just completely left my brain. That's all right. It's all right.
Well, we can talk
Hey,
about cable management
keep, you
and
know
your
what? Hold
box.
on before we leave my box alone. So let's talk about unicorn because I did put the thing down. So Angie says
I think
that a
that was what
unicorn.
it was
Damn it,
about.
Angie, text me. What the unicorn is something crazy. Oh, I'm gonna mess it up. Angie, let me text her because she
Give
needs to
her a
tell
second
me.
so she can text you.
Okay, but let me
Remember, there's a latency,
a
so you have
latency
to wait
things.
for her to actually hear you
Okay, she's
say it
still
through the
here.
live stream.
She's good. She says, I agree, Lewis. Tiny people are just tiny, and she's a big. I respect her so much, like as a mom, like and I used to tell her this when we were just best friends. She is so patient, so kind, so loving. Like it's amazing to watch that type of. And maybe because my parents weren't patient and kind, they were very loving. They were very loving, but no patience. My dad was the typical Puerto Rican dad. Like, get your ass to go wash the clothes right now. You ain't do your homework. Go take care of your brother. Anyway,
But that
go
also
ahead.
could have been because you were probably the first and the age difference between you and your other siblings,
Yeah,
because they were already able to rely on you as a person to help
yeah.
them out with
Oh yeah,
your,
yeah,
younger
yeah, yeah,
brother and sister.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 100%. And I mean, I don't want to say I feel like I messed. Okay. So you know what that did to this conversation. I mean, it's good, but totally unexpected. We're having a whole therapy session between the two of us, and Carlos is giving us free psychoanalytics in the interim. So because I was so much old, or I am so much older than my brother and sister, like I was in junior high school. Check this out. My mom had to, because of they were working, my mom got permission from the junior high school to let me leave class a half an hour early because I needed enough time to walk from my junior high school to my brother and sister's public school to pick them up from public school before whatever that deadline was, 3:15, I had to make sure. So it was power walking Little India from the junior high school, which probably like a 20-minute walk. But every day I had special permission. And now I think about that, like that's crazy. And I don't know. My mom always gives me like, she always gives me praise. I've never been, oh, you made me miss out and you had me taking care of my brother and sister. I never felt that way. Like I never do I feel like I could have done more. So what my thought with this was,
Come
how
on, you
that
were
did
getting out
affect
of
me.
class early.
No, listen, but it was by myself. Who wants to walk by themselves? And then power walk, Carlos, it was legit power walk because I was like on one side of town and then on the other side of town. Like it wasn't like it was, no, bro. And I was by myself. I wasn't like, it's not like I was chilling with my friends. No. But how it did affect me, I guess negatively, like if we think about it, was that as I became a young adult, 18, 19, 20, I don't want to know I don't want to say if I was scared. We're just going to say that I was scared. I don't like that word because India ain't afraid of nobody, you heard? No. But we're just going to
That's
say,
you now, but we're talking about you back then.
we'll say that I was scared to leave my family behind. So like I wanted to go in the military. And for two reasons. I didn't go in the military because of don't ask, don't tell. Back in the 2000s, that was still very active. And I was like, both my parents, I'm open to both sides of my family and they accept me. There's no way I'm going in the military. But I could have handled that, right? Because I do have the discipline. I didn't because I didn't want to leave my parents behind. I didn't travel. I didn't move out of state because I had this what I thought was responsibility to making sure that my brother and sister was okay. And that transposed into my mom, thank God, is very healthy. She's Puerto Rican Buttercup is, alive and kicking. On her own, freaking on YouTube.
I don't see it being that bad, but the fact that it irks you so much is what makes it hilarious.
Oh my
But
God.
continue. So go on.
But that responsibility, that attachment, maybe that's a better word, that attachment to my family even continued. So my dad ended up, typical Latino parents, he had diabetes, didn't take care of himself, had a heart attack. Heart attack turned into losing his vision. His vision turned into he needed, his kidneys ended up failing. So my dad passed away when he was 56. He was very young, 2 years ago.
Sorry.
Thank you. No, it's cool. I knew it was coming. It was one of those things that I knew was coming. So I had prepared. I grieved while he was still alive. That was rough. Conversation for a whole nother day. But
Yeah.
for me, that attachment was I was taking care of my dad because that was let's say the last 5 years of his life that then it was, I can't move. I was already far enough away from him. He was in Brooklyn and I was in northern New Jersey, which with traffic in the city, it would take me an hour and a half to get to him. Listen to this. It would take me an hour and a half to get to him. Where he lived in Brooklyn was in Flatbush. 0 parking. It would take me a half an hour to 45 minutes to park my car. And out there in New York, you double park for a second and the freaking meter maids, it's like, they're like genies. They just come out of nowhere, right? Like, so I couldn't even double park. So a half an hour, 45 minutes just to make sure he was okay or to take him to the doctor for 2 hours and then go back home. So it was something that I would only need to be with him for an hour or whatever. It turned out to be like a 5 or 6, 7 hour, 8 hour ordeal, but I could not leave. So like, I think about it now where I moved to Philly on my own, right? Like I'm in a different place where I'm like, no, I'm going to do it. I don't know nothing about Philly. I know that I love Philly. Philly's like New York. I don't know nothing about these neighborhoods. Like I just decided to do it. But that was as I started to learn and realize that I didn't travel as much because of that responsibility that I needed to be there for my family. And I'm going to therapy for this, like for real. Like, and I have no problem saying that I'm going to therapy, right? But like I'm dead ass, Louis, for
We took me out. Like, look, these are issues for my future therapist. Like, right? I'm already looking through, like advertisements. This is gonna happen. I haven't figured out yet, but that's a conversation for him.
Bro, I got a checklist, okay? I got a checklist on my iPad of all the shit that we need to talk about that we gotta fix.
Recommendations. I'm making mind note maps.
Right, okay? Exactly.
So that,
where is this coming from? Where is this coming from?
You're gonna go into your first session with him with a folder, be like, oh no, we need to start at the beginning. Let's
Let me just make
let's not worry
Lewis my
about what's happening
listen.
today.
Let
Let's
me
just
just make Carlos my therapist, and then I'm gonna be like, all right, Carlos, you've watched the live streams. Now psychoanalyze. I'm ready, and just sit back like this
oh, that's too much.
and just wait. But that is the one thing that I've worked through is that attachment of not wanting to leave, and I recognize. So I've been to Paris twice. I absolutely love it. Had I gone when I was younger, I would have lived out there. Like I would have upped and moved. Like that's how much I love it. I would have traveled much younger, but I was so afraid to let go. That was real deep. We can change the subject. Angie did, unless you have something to say, and I'll go to the comments. She did respond about the unicorn, but I just told you about like my attachment issues and why I don't want to travel. Or why I wasn't traveling.
You don't want to travel. Why you think that you didn't when you were younger?
When I was younger, yeah. Sisters talking. She says, Lou, if you ever come to Japan, I'll show you around. You seem really cool. Was that like a Tinder thing? Sisters talking? Was that, or is that? Look at Lewis.
Oh my God, I'm over here trying to read these comments because they're so small on my screen right now, and you keep.
Sister, so I'm just doing this to get on his case. I mean, disrespect, but I'm trying to get him blushing. Boy, look at that Puerto Rican is turning into a candy red apple now. Yo, oh my goodness. Jamaica Boxing Club loves the audio. I appreciate you. And we're going back on some of the comments. Carlos says, Lewis, you do understand that you're becoming more attractive to the ladies the more you share, right? Which is true. That's what I'm saying. Listen, you're going to have them lined up, papi chulo, lined up. Paul says, pay no attention to the camera crew in your driveway, Lewis. That's for you, not for me. That's for your Tinder profile. They got all of that.
No, the camera crew's probably having to do with that catfishing thing. Like
yeah, exactly.
Knocking at my door.
That's Neve Schulman.
Like, excuse me, do you know this young lady? Be like,
what? Say what? No. Then they pull out their computer, the computer and the little ZV-1 on there. Oh my goodness.
Too much.
That is hilarious. I just want to catch up with the comments. The community's talking to each other. Sisters Talking tells Angie, you are doing a great thing by being vulnerable in front of your babies. My son told me that they never knew I made mistakes because as a single mom, I never showed that to them. And that is important. Coco, hey girl, hey. It's all right. We are doing the damn thing.
When you think about it that way, that you don't show your kids mistakes, it almost shows like that
they can't make mistakes. They have to be perfectionists.
Exactly. Like perfection is like the only standard, and that's not the way it should be. So
I think I may have another subject for my therapist.
Another little note.
Exactly. Let me get another Post-it. Hold on. Let me write this down. Coco's Cabana says, at the Copacabana. She says, no, I don't think our generations ever felt entitled. Younger generations and the kids of theirs seem much more entitled. Definitely. Did I assume the caretaker role in your family? I absolutely did. And I'm sure, like, no cap, like nothing on my brother or whatever. But he would, not that, I don't want to make it seem like he doesn't, because he does check in on me, but he probably needs something. And then that's why for me, when I'm like, all right, let me make sure he's okay. Like, that's right. That's the caretaker in me, because my family comes first. So it's like, I understand that I'm on a live stream, but let me make sure my little brother is fine, because I just got to make sure he's all right. Let's see. Everybody's saying therapy is good for you. I should list out my issues. Listing out your issues helps, man. Even sometimes just listing out your issues may be enough, just to like, for the little issues to be like, all right. Yes, Coco. So the very first time I went to Paris was with Puerto Rican Buttercup. And if you don't know, that's my mother's YouTube name, Puerto Rican Buttercup.
For someone who finds so much disdain in it, you mentioned that name so much. And
so
like,
much,
yes.
right?
And you can find her on YouTube. Subscribe.
Right.
And
like, no. Listen, Louis, she will. Yo, one time my sister was at my house, and I don't know what it was. Bro, no, my mother is on TikTok. And I was like, I swear to God, if this freaking lady has TikTok videos, thank God she doesn't know how to do that. But if she did know how to do that, my mother would legit be on TikTok. And I'm not ready for that. I am not ready for that. Anyway.
Listen, let's not talk about TikTok.
Okay. All right. We won't. No, we will not. No. Never mind.
You.
Why did I do it to myself? Oh,
Exactly. I'm trying to save you.
no. Paul says swipe left or swipe right. Wait, hold on.
No.
She says sisters
This is
talking
gonna
says
be a whole nother thing.
listen, sisters talking says yes, I was flirting. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about, that women nowadays, and I'm here for it, are going after for what they want. Yes, Lewis.
What
yes.
did you start, India?
Yes. Listen. Yes. Look, he's
Oh
sweating.
my
He's sweating. Yes. Wait, hold on. I thought I have. There's a few things. Oh, look, the clock ticking. This is Lewis. When is this shit going to be over? India, you said it was going to be over. The clock stopped ticking. What is it?
Coño.
All right.
I'm
let's go.
straight teary-eyed
Yo.
right now, yo. This
Yo.
is too fun.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
This was good. This has been good. Let me see.
Oh, this is hilarious. Are you kidding me? This is awesome.
Yes. See, going back to a serious note, Sister Stalkin said, and my sons actually did tell me they couldn't make mistakes. We then talked it out. So that's important, right? Like, at least that's how I feel. As long as you recognize it at some point, and it takes both parties to be open and understanding and to have the conversations for forgiveness and to move forward. That's important. Let's see. Everybody's dying laughing at each other. Coco's Cabana says, oh my God, I have to meet the buttercup. I love it. No. My mother is fly. Leave her alone. Angelica, don't you start. No. All right. Let me see. Let's see. Yes. She requested to be my friend on TikTok. That's what it was. My mother. This is how my mother, listen, that's how I found out that my mother had a TikTok account, because my mother is randomly requesting Angie. Didn't request me, so Angie sends me a screenshot and was like, yo, is this your mom? And my sister was in the house. I swear to God, we were upstairs.
That was like a high school conversation.
Yo, dead ass, right?
Yo,
Like,
is this your mom?
like what? Like, for real?
Why she on
And
TikTok?
right. I swear to God. So Angie screenshotted it. And I'm like, so I'm looking, right? This is me on my phone like this. And I was like, what? And my sister was next to me. So I was like, yo, but why? Look. And my sister reads it. My sister was like, what? And so we're both looking. And then she made it. So she put my mother's name. My mother's first name is America. So she put AMER USA because she thinks it's funny that her name is America. So she'll try to put USA. She's such a jibara. Like,
You went there, girl.
I did. I love my mother. But anyway, that's how I found out, because she wanted to be Angie's friend. And then I'm calling her. Like, I FaceTime her. I was like, yo, do you got a TikTok account? She was like, yeah, I got a TikTok account because I want to watch the videos. I was like, oh my God, why?
Just wait till she learns,
Bro.
That's the next step.
Anyway, Paul is going back to trying to make you laugh. He says, you know you are in trouble when a gay guy is handling your Tinder account. Wait,
You know what?
but Gigi says, Paul, I would definitely have you manage my Tinder account.
Just kidding.
All right, so let me see. So let's go
Going
back to
it.
Let's go back to unicorn. So Angie
Oh, okay.
gave me the description. So what she told me, and this was just earlier today, she says, the term unicorn in dating refers to an individual. And this is, I swear to God, this is how she typed it out. Like, she's fucking dictionary.com. Like, and then me with the voiceover. So I'm going to do it with the voiceover.
Nice.
You ready? Okay.
Go ahead.
The term, babe, did you copy and paste this? This is real official. The term unicorn in dating refers to an individual who is willing to join an existing relationship.
Loser.
Wait, that's the wrong thing. That was the wrong. Damn it. This is going to become a romantic partner who will have sex and become romantically involved with both members of the original relationship. Did you hear that? Did you get that
That is
shit?
not me.
Did you get that
That
shit? So
is
you
not
said
me.
unicorn, and
No,
it is.
we're gonna rewind that because if that was the definition, that's not what I meant. You see everything in context, and that's not the context.
Oh my goodness.
I
Gretchen says,
said it right off the bat. What
I
I
know.
thought was something that's mythological and
No,
never
you got
thought
it.
to have existed in the first place.
Listen, I
That
don't.
other thing, that's new age stuff.
First of all, Carlos,
That's
listen.
Tinder. That's Tinder definitions. Okay, that's stuff I'm not aware of.
Let me tell you, look at my face. Angie says that shit to me, and I'm like, but how you know that? Right? So the overprotective, controlling girlfriend in me, now that I'm controlling.
Oh, please stop.
But I was like, how
How
the
you
fuck
heard
you
that
know that?
term?
Right. Like, what you know about that? Like, what? Yo.
Like I am right now, right? Like
Right?
the expression, like what? Like that's what that
Like,
means? Nah.
right, exactly. Like, what? I'm not
Oh.
understanding. And then Paul says, that is not my definition of a unicorn.
So you see that's
Yeah.
not set in stone.
Yeah.
That's a
Well.
Wikipedia pullout.
Yeah. No, what is it?
Somebody
Urban Dictionary. Is
or
urbandictionary.com where
Urban
people
Dictionary.
where people randomly freaking put their own descriptions and shit on there.
Yeah, but I think isn't it Wikipedia that you could like right
Edit
click
your
on the
own
page
shit.
and like
So Urban
edit
Dictionary is
your
the
own
same
stuff?
shit. Urban
Okay, so
Dictionary is so
same thing.
Yeah, you're right. Wikipedia is that people Coco's Cabana's dying crying. Listen, for real. So yes, Wikipedia
Oh,
is that, but Urban
hilarious.
Dictionary you can go in and put your own terms on there and then put like examples and shit like that. So like if people want to
That's
know
somebody
what
that was just being,
they needed,
philanthropic like that, and they were like, "That's what I want to call myself." Be like, "Nah, that's not how it works." Okay, you
right?
can't just
Exactly.
edit
Yeah.
the term just so that it can compile and like fit you.
Right. Like what? All right. So let's see. All right. Are we ready to talk into, so let's talk about why I actually invited you here because
Okay.
this week, was it this week? This Saturday coming up is your 67th week of live streaming in a row.
Yes,
So
of my
Carlos,
weekly live streams.
yes. So
Yes.
Carlos has live streamed for the last 67 weeks in a row, which is over a year because there's 52 weeks in a year.
Lewis.
Why do I keep saying that?
Carlos.
I'm so sorry. I don't
Carlos is
know.
in the chat and you
I
keep
know.
reading.
And I know all
No
us
problem.
Puerto Ricans, you're lucky I didn't call you Jose because,
Oh, I
all
know
of,
because my name Luis is right there. It's like Juan, Jose, and Luis.
right,
That's
I
like
don't know,
the
but
most
you're my
common used
friend. Like
Hispanic names.
I've known you forever. Like why would I
So
like
you know what?
my bad.
This is a good way to let people know that that's why I actually chose Mr. Camera Junkie as my name,
Okay, go ahead.
because I have such a common name that when I started looking up my own name in the state of Florida, there was over like I believe 700 Luis Vega photographers.
Wow.
Just photographers,
Yeah.
exactly. So if I were to start Luis Vega photography, I'd be on page like 9,000 of
Right.
Google, and I'm
Right.
like,
That's
it's
not working.
impossible to like stand out. So
Yeah.
that idea was I was looking for something catchy,
Yeah.
and my daytime business is Mr. Fix It
Excuse me.
because I fix
Yep.
iPhones, or
Yep.
more or less used to because it's already in transition.
Yeah.
But when I went looking for Camera Junkie because it was like a perfect description of what I am,
Yeah.
and that was already taken. So I just kind of went to Mr.
Yeah.
from my business, and I was like, Mr. Camera Junkie, and that was available everywhere. So I took that, ran with it, and now it's synonymous with this face here.
Yes.
And so many people recognize me as Mr. Camera Junkie, which was a good move as far as marketing goes because it has allowed people to recognize me far faster than if I were just to be using my name.
There you go. 100%.
You
Look.
know, look, I met Doc Rock because of that name, because he literally saw it in chat and goes, Mr. Camera Junkie. That sounds like a name that we need to pay attention to. Let me check out his
Hey.
channel.
Yeah.
And because of that marketing move is another reason, like I said, make the most of your every day, and that I'm here.
That's dope. So let's talk about 67 weeks. And I'm looking. So have you heard of Poddex?
No.
Have you heard of that? So pod decks, I have the app and I want to get them. They're like, cards that you can get. They're like $15 $15 a box. And it's questions for interviews or podcasts. So in theory, this is right like a video podcast. And there's a bunch of different categories. So they
Cool.
have an app. I'll text you the app. They have an app, and they have different categories. So it's like there's a what the fuck category, there's foodie, there's ghost hunters, there's like dating life that I'm going to use with Angie, self-growth. They have gay pride. I'll have Paul on and we can do a gay pride one. Not safe for work. We're doing that one. So that's what I was looking for to see. And then you can scroll through it and see what it is.
Okay.
And they just have questions to just kind of ask questions. Not that we need help with guiding
Yeah.
conversation, but to spice it up. So talk to the community. You've done 67. Okay, so was there, at any moment, did you ever say, I'm going to stream every week? Like, how did that become a consistency thing for you?
Okay, that's a great question. Well,
Well,
when
thank
I
you, sir.
first started live streaming, and the way that it came about was, at first I came to realize myself how much I loved live streaming. Not only producing it before I had ever done it, but also participating, being in chat, and the whole experience.
Right.
Once that clicked for me, that's when I started seeking out, how can I do this for myself? And that's when I
Yeah.
started first I found live streaming pros.
Yep.
And when I subscribed to them, the next like show that they had
Yeah.
was her hosting Doc Rock and
Yeah.
Renee Ritchie.
Yeah.
And then I was like, these guys are amazing. So I subscribed to Doc
Yeah.
and Renee on that day just to see, like, hey, let's see where, like,
Yeah.
what type of content they pump out. I believe
Yeah.
it was the next Saturday that I recognized Doc Rock in the Nick Nimmin live stream Saturday
Okay.
mornings.
Yeah.
And then he had his live stream that following afternoon,
Yeah.
and how I was already on my computer and now I am now subscribed to Doc Rock. I got the notification.
Right.
So I jump on his live stream. And like I had mentioned before, is when he
Yeah.
actually says, hey, Mr. Camera Junkie, let's take a look at his channel. He gave me a quick channel review
Yeah.
and invited me to the Let's Get Live community. And
Okay.
that's what set everything off, because
That's
at
crazy.
that time they were doing Vlogmas,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Vlogmas 2020.
Yeah.
And the goal of Vlogmas that year was actually to get people that were used to doing, like, small live streams, things just over the air into Facebook, and
Yeah.
try to up their game and use the same equipment that they were using for live streaming, but to produce pre recorded content
Yep.
that they can edit. And that was the challenge.
Yeah.
I came into it from a different angle because I was trying to step up my live streaming
Yep.
comparative to my pre recorded content.
Yeah.
So that's where, even though I joined the community, I asked Doc, hey, I would like to participate, but I want to participate with live streams instead of pre recorded content, because that's what I'm trying to level up on. And he was like,
Yeah. Do
gravy,
you?
get in
Right.
there, gang. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
You had to do that with
instantly met
a
up.
deeper, raspier voice. Gravy, get in there, gang. Hey, get it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Gang, gang.
Right.
Okay. No, I wasn't going to go there, but you
You
know
should
what?
have.
It called for it.
Right.
So, uh, at that moment is like when I started meeting everyone that I know now, like Lem, I met June, I met so many people.
Yeah.
And June was actually one of the first ones to tell me, like, yo, we're going to tell you how it is here at the LGL. We don't cut corners and we don't pull punches. And I'm like, good, because I'm trying to get better. If I
Yeah.
want people, blow smoke up my,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
that's not going to make me better at the long run. So with that being said, your vibe will find your tribe. And
Mm.
then you also hear the people saying, when the student is ready, the master will appear. Well,
Mm-hmm.
apparently the stars aligned and I was supposed to meet Doc Rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because I decided to take the challenge and do the live streams, that's where I actually found my schedule.
Mm.
I went live every day, similar to what you're doing right
Yep.
now.
Yeah.
I did it for 30 days, not 100. And within those 30 days, not only did I already find the rhythm, but it was like becoming a very big part of my life. And
Yeah.
the planning for a live stream is just, it could be just as cumbersome as
Yeah.
pre-recorded content or anything like that,
Yep.
especially when you're trying to provide as much value as
Yeah.
possible with your streams.
Yeah.
So even though I loved the interaction with the community, and like my first live stream, believe it or not, was well, I was already really starting to learn it, but my first live streams, I was live streaming to no one. It was literally
Mm.
just me learning it, and
Mhm.
this was even before I found the LGL community.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I had just done one or two at the beginning of December, and it
Yeah.
was December 5th, I believe, that I found Doc Rock. So it
Yeah.
was right around that time where I started that 30 days. And within the first couple of weeks, I was already building a community
Yeah.
of my camera junkies, which was amazing. And the live streaming being so addictive, that's a whole nother
Yep.
conversation.
Yeah.
I was already hooked. But
Yeah.
kind of like, an addict, right?
Yep.
I recognized how much it can consume
Yep.
of your everyday if you decide to do every day.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when I was like, even though this is amazing,
Yeah.
because my main priority is this little guy here,
Yep.
I didn't want to have a neglect factor at all with him. So I knew that I had to pull back on the reins a bit. And
Yeah.
that's when I said, I need to build consistency.
Yeah.
So even though, and this is a little bit of information for anyone who's out there listening, um, even though your analytics can say your people are watching on Tuesday at 9 in the
Right.
morning
Right. Right.
and do this and that, don't worry about any of that. Your vibe will find your tribe, and then your
100%.
tribe will find you no matter what.
Yeah. That's
Because
true.
the time that I had available that I can be consistent with once I
Yeah.
realized the magnitude of live streaming was Saturday evenings
Mhm.
at midnight.
Mhm.
So the time, like we mentioned before, where someone would actually take to go out, to go
Right.
party, to
Yeah.
go do this and hang out and like live their life, I'm like, not about that life.
Yeah.
So I said my club is Club Camera Junkie, which is
Yeah.
the live stream that I do every week. And I started at midnight on Saturdays because it was the time that I saw in my schedule that no matter what tipsy turby, upsy downy, however you
Yeah.
want to say, however
Yeah.
turbulent it could have gotten, I know that I could always be there on Saturday at midnight, because that would be the time that I would say is like break time.
Right. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Because of it, now I've moved it to 11 to try to like make it a little bit earlier, time shifts and things like that.
Right.
Always mess around with it, but
Yeah.
I've always been able to keep that consistent. And now I hear from my own community that like they sometimes wish that it could be sooner than Saturdays, because
Yeah.
they're
Yep.
they're
Waiting.
anticipating
Yep.
the event. And as well, the fact that the consistency is something that they can rely on, because
Yeah.
it's hard to grasp, right?
Mhm.
But I've recognized, which is the value that I hold in my own community, is the effort that I have already put forward carries weight.
Yeah.
And the same way that you and everyone who's watching has their favorite content creators on the platform, that you're anticipating their live streams, or that you're
Yeah.
anticipating their
Yeah.
next upload,
Yeah.
you have to recognize that as soon as you put yourself out there,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are that for someone else.
Man.
You are that for people who are
Yeah.
waiting for your next upload, and
Yeah.
then that holds you accountable
Yeah.
to the people who decided to say, "You know what? I'm gonna subscribe to this channel because I want to see what he comes up with next."
Yeah.
And that has been one of also another big driving force that, at the big picture, everything that I do is for Aiden.
Yeah.
That is my why.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of motivation in my community and in the people that I am able to connect with and interact with, and people that I now call friends
Yeah.
that I communicate with, right? Probably more on a weekly basis that I do with my father,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because of what we're building here. And
Right.
like everyone says, Rome isn't built in a day.
Right.
But you have to, just like you're setting up for dinner, you have to set up your mise en place. You have to set up your prep work, and you have to put the stones in place for your foundation of whatever it is that you want to build.
Yeah.
So, with that, I guess I also recognize that I recognize and appreciate my community, because even though I'm that for them,
Yeah.
they're also that for me as well. So
100%.
it's
Yeah.
reciprocation,
Yeah.
100%.
100%. 100%. Um, Sisters Talking says that time advice is dope because being here in Japan, I've been trying to figure out the optimal time. You just helped me see I should focus on content and consistency. Thanks.
Yeah, and to add just a little bit on that, I have a camera junkie member who lives on the other side of the world, right?
Yeah.
And always catches my live streams on the replay.
Yeah.
So after my Saturday night, he wakes up on Sunday morning and is like watching my live stream with a cup of coffee. And it's like, that's part of that same
Yeah.
accountability that I'm like, I need to make sure that I have a live stream for his coffee.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but have you ever had a content creator that you are hoping and waiting or expecting their
Yeah.
live stream, and you don't get it,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. It's like,
for
what?
me,
You
one of the
log
big
in, you
people.
click into YouTube, and it's like you go to the channel, and it's like, okay, I know that you're
You even
streaming at
check the
this time.
calendars, like, is it
Right.
Saturday? Is it
Right.
like, what
Yeah.
day is it today? What are we
Right.
doing, right? And
Right.
it could even throw a monkey wrench in your routine, because
Right.
it's
Yeah.
something that you're so like dependent on. And that's why everyone tells you consistency is so big, that yeah, even though I know like not all of my camera junkies are able to
Yeah.
be on all of my live streams,
Yeah.
that's besides the point. Whether they're able to catch it live or on a replay, I will always do my utmost to make sure that I'm live Saturday nights.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Gigi says, word, because India just changed up the time today and we are still here. Right. And that was, so with what you're saying, your vibe will find your tribe and your tribe will find you 100%. And it was unintentional. Because I was supposed to be doing something at 7 o'clock.
Ooh,
But
you that late.
no, and it's already, I'm going to just catch the replay. Remember, ask for forgiveness before, instead of asking for permission. So it's okay. Sweeping under the rug. I'm going to get, because of you, I'm going to get a sweeping sound effect.
No, girl, you need a Hoover. You already just need a vacuum to trail you, like zzz. This saves time.
So first off, I want to make sure that I say thank you to all of you guys that have shown up consistently the last couple of days and show up on my weekend live streams. I appreciate all of you guys. And that's important. So even Pastor Felicia, she came on and she was like, India, that was the first thing she said. India, you started early today? I'm late. Like, what's happening, right? And so it's exactly that thought process of you show your consistency. And that's why for me, when I was starting this, I said, all right, I can do in the middle of the day because of the bank, I can take time off. But I also didn't want to rush, because look at today. Today I said I was going to, finish at before 7 o'clock. And I decided to say, all right, I'm going to move some things around. No big deal. I can't do that during the day for the bank. So if we would have been doing this at 12 o'clock or something, it would have been like, no, I got to get off because I got to take my butt back, to doing stuff for the bank. So there was thought that went into it, but the most important thought, it wasn't for me, it was how can I be consistent to the community? Because if I start streaming at 7 o'clock every single day, it's not going to be fair to them that on freaking Tuesday of next week, I start streaming at 12 o'clock. Like, what? They're not expecting that. They want that consistency. And that's the commitment. I believe when we put ourselves out there as the content creators, that's the commitment that we have to be ready for, because people are going to be relying on us for whatever it is that we're putting out there. And so that was a really important factor for me. Let me see. If I am not on Mr. Camera Junkies live, I don't get my paycheck. Wait, am I missing something with that? Paul said that. What? Wait, what?
It's in the mail, Paul. It's in the mail.
Is
No,
that
Paul
what
is an amazing moderator.
he
He
is?
even has the moniker Mr. Moderator,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
am so fortunate to have him
Yep.
as part of my crew on
Yep.
Saturdays, and he definitely is part of the Wrench Mob. He's one of my moderators, and he's amazing. He does stuff for me that I forget, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I can't thank him enough. So I
Exactly.
need
No,
to
no,
make
no.
sure that the
I
check's in the mail.
listen, I hear you. That's what I said. I had just messaged him yesterday. I was like, all right, well, I need to pay it forward. Sorry, my head was hurting because the hat was on. The hat was on too tight, so I'm trying to fix this. But yeah, Mr. Paul, Mr. Moderator is amazing. Hey, Dwayne, how are you today? Thank you. I appreciate you for showing support and coming through. All right, so then let's get to locations. So obviously you live streamed from the bathroom when you were in
Yes.
Albany. And I saw that. And that wasn't as, man, I was hoping that somebody was going to crash your live stream. I watched the live stream. I was like, oh, the lighting was great. Like it was like a perfect, and you said it.
You
The
see?
lighting was
That's why.
amazing. And I was like, and then of course, because it was a smaller room,
Okay.
go ahead.
Let's bring this in perspective.
Go ahead,
Who
go ahead,
here
go ahead.
has TikTok and seen people do a video on TikTok where they're just rushing into their bathrooms and they're like recording themselves on a mirror? The reason why is because instinctively, even though they don't really understand lighting as a
Yeah.
professional,
Yeah.
they see the results and they recognize that when they're in the bathroom,
Right.
they're getting the best light
Right.
because it's front facing, it's filling, and it just
Yep.
glows up the entire room.
Yeah.
So once I recognized that, I was like, I did the same thing a couple of times because I did my weekly, but while I was traveling up to Albany, I was
Yeah.
doing a daily live stream as well into the LGL community, some on my
Mm.
phone, but every night when I stopped at a hotel, I broke out my little mobile unit.
I remember
I
seeing
connected
some of
to the
those. Didn't you
Wi-Fi
do like an
and
interview with Alicio or something in a hotel room?
oh, that
Well,
was
not,
different. That was when Alicio came to Miami. He was
got you.
here for
Yep.
some work stuff, and I was
Got you.
like,
Because I
"There's no
remember
way
seeing
that."
that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was saying, "There's no way that he's gonna be so close." And he's
Right.
like, "Oh, that's like a half an hour away." I'm like, I don't know how it is in other places. A half an hour in South Florida, that's not far, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's like, yeah, that's like me hopping in the car. It'll probably take me
Right.
longer to get me and Aiden ready in the car than the actual trip. But
Right.
it was really cool. I met Alicio and we did like an impromptu live too right
Yeah.
there in his hotel room. So
Yeah.
that was really cool. That was his
Yeah.
setup though.
Got you. Okay. Got
Mine
you.
was a little different, but it evolved throughout the trip because
Yeah.
what I decided to take was like not my Mac Mini, but my MacBook Pro.
Yep.
I ran Ecamm off of it. I
Yep.
still use my Elgato Cam Link, but
Yep.
instead of having like switching cameras, which we haven't even gotten into, right? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't like I was switching cameras or anything like
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
but just one camera in
Yeah.
place, connected to the Cam Link, good lighting because of the bathroom, and I used my Zoom H5, which is
Mm.
a field recorder,
Yeah.
but it also connects as an audio interface when you connect it via USB.
Yeah.
So having that as the microphone interface directly into Ecamm,
Yeah.
good lighting with the
Yeah.
cam link and my camera, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
And this little computer was able to handle that one stream
Yeah.
easily through the hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That's dope. That's dope. And then with the whole that's important too with the Wi-Fi, right? Because it's like it's everybody like Wi-Fi has such a negative, like a bad rap for us as live streamers, not necessarily as content creators, but as live streamers. It's like, listen, you better get hardwired at all time and you better have, a gig up, gig down, whatever it is, like
Yeah,
the
but I
stable
also,
connection.
streaming from the bathroom, I wasn't trying to shoot 4K out in
Right,
a stream through
right,
Wi-Fi. I kept it at
right,
1080, kept things very basic so that,
right.
and also, you know, to be clear, I also make sure that I turned off certain settings on the computer, like to make sure that I wasn't recording internally so
Yeah.
that it would actually like slow down that process. What I just
Mm,
made sure was, hey, everything is going out correctly, audio and visuals good. Let's run it. And
yeah,
that's it. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, at the end of the day, if you know how to configure things correctly, because
yep,
I've done it myself for
yep.
test streams, I've taken the same setup and one of my USB ports, I connected to my iPhone. And I
Mm-hmm.
could be at a park. And if I
Right.
got good enough
Yep,
signal, I can use my iPhone as a modem and live
yep,
stream.
yep.
So the options are pretty much endless.
Look at that. Dropping more gems. Dropping more gems. Let me see. So we're coming up, oh my God, on 2 hours. This was totally
Mhm.
unexpected. An hour and 45 minutes.
But did
Let's
it
see.
feel like 2 hours? This is
No, it
like the
did not.
Titanic of live streams. You know what I'm saying? Like you just sit there and be like, that was 3 hours? It didn't feel
Right,
that way. Like, are
right.
you kidding?
No, you look at the
Time
time and
flies
you're
when you're
like,
having
holy,
fun.
right? Exactly. Holy guacamole. It's been 3 hours. Let's see. So, any advice or any tips or any tricks for me that I'm going to do this now for the next 95 days after today? What advice can you give me?
Okay, this is perfect because this gives me a
I'm
little
listening.
time to cast some shade.
Okay.
First, we're gonna need to learn how to wrap cables.
You know what?
Okay.
Hold on.
No, we'll
And so
do that on a personal one.
Lewis's internet connection has died. He was just talking about because he streams from Wi-Fi, so it just cut off. Jerk.
No, but seriously, the one advice that I can give you, especially on this 100-day
Yeah.
challenge and
Yeah.
for the live streams that you're eventually going to continue to do, because
Yep.
the same way you're going to find the day of the week that's going to be the easiest for you. And I
Yep.
really emphasize that, you got to make it as easy for you. And now my Saturday evenings is something that I look forward to. Like that's the highlight of my week that I can work. And I know that I'm like going to Club Camera Junkie,
Yeah.
on Saturday night, and I get to see and speak to so many amazing people. Once you figure out which day and time of the week, is going to be best for you, then once you finish your challenge, you're going to be like, I'm going to continue to do that. So
Yeah.
that's my tip for you because it's what worked for me.
Right.
Where I did 30 days, I said Saturday is my day, and I've been
Yep.
consistent
Yeah.
with that ever since.
Yep.
Another bit of advice is that don't expect to hit a grand slam every time you live stream,
Mm,
okay?
that's
Because it's
huge.
just
Yeah.
not possible.
Yeah.
Like you try your best to keep your energies up, to keep
Yeah.
the mood jovial, to do everything that you can. But
Yeah.
there's certain days that even if your energy is good, right?
Yeah.
And like you have no technical um like problems, right?
Yeah.
Like everything electronically works perfectly. So the flow as far as your runner show goes without a hitch,
Yep.
and you could end up and feel like that was kind of flat,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
Well, the way that I always see it, or the way that I talk to myself about it, is just like a baseball player. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you could have struck out that time.
Yeah.
Like there was really nothing wrong, right?
Right.
Your
Right.
technique was good and everything like that, but it
Yeah.
just the stars didn't align, and that was a whiff and a
Right.
miss. So
Yeah.
guess what? Batter up next time.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're bunts, sometimes they're singles, and then magical streams that you get the grand slam. But
Right.
the thing
Right.
is that you will not get any of those results unless you show up to bat, which is what you're
Ooh.
doing. You're coming up and you're showing
All
up to
right.
bat every single day, and
Yeah.
just know that every single one is not gonna be your best,
Yeah.
but that also gives you space for improvement.
Yeah. That's great.
If
That
you
is
if you come
amazing.
if you come at it that way, girl, I'll tell you the
Yeah.
truth, you're not gonna have a problem, and I think you might be able to enjoy this challenge, and I'm gonna put it that way and emphasize that it's still a challenge. There are
Yeah.
gonna be days
Yeah.
that you're tired and
Yeah.
you do not
Yeah.
wanna do it,
Oh, I
right?
know. I
And that
know.
you're, like, dragging ass. Oh, I'm
Right.
sorry. Like,
That's not,
you
you're
know
all
what I'm
good.
saying?
Don't- don't-
Okay,
Yeah.
we're cool, right?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the thing that I've noticed is that those days that I go live
Yeah.
like that, sometimes they're the grand slams.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're exactly what I needed to pick me up and then have that just come out and be like, "Yo," like, as soon as I, like, say bye to everyone, it's like,
Yeah.
"That was dope." Like, that
Yeah.
was a fire episode, and it's
Yeah.
got me hyped up that, like, it's hard for me to go to sleep because the
Yeah.
adrenaline is
Yeah. Yeah.
pumping so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the best advice that I can give anyone when it comes to live
Yep.
streaming is just know it like that. Like not every single one is a grand slam, but just as long as you show up to bat, you'll be
Yeah.
good to go.
Yeah. Everybody's loving your comments. So people appreciate that. That was, yeah, no, that was definitely dope. I think that, that's for anything with anyone, whether you're looking to start a weekly live stream or whatever the scheduling looks like, looking to do something
Or a
daily, whatever challenge,
podcast
a
or
podcast, right?
anything
Yeah.
else.
It's just showing up, and it's not always going to be, setting those expectations. It's not always going to look like what you imagined it was going to look like, and then just working
That's
with it,
life.
right? That's life. Exactly. That's life. So I ordered my bag for those of you guys that were here. I ordered my bag to organize my cables. I'm actually very excited for my bag. It's a really cool bag. Very excited. It comes tomorrow. I ordered a replacement cable for my dummy battery for my ZV-1 because I'm going to electrocute myself by the time it's over. I ordered a right angle, 90-degree angle where I don't know if you came in late yesterday, but I was having a whole conniption with the Stream Deck because the Stream Deck, the cable that they give you, no, you weren't on. So with the Stream Deck, the cable, is this on? Is this thing on? Let me see. Show you. Give me 1 second. Let me just switch my thing because I had a whole rant.
So you're talking about like a USB-C cable with a 90-degree angle. So which Stream Deck do you have? The mini or
No, I got
the
the
32?
32. Yeah, I got the 32.
Okay.
Hello. Well, you hear that? The sound. That sounds horrible. No, that's the wrong way. You can hear all the hiss.
Beginning.
All right. So I was having a whole rant yesterday because, right, the way you have your Stream Deck, they send you this regular one, but the connection is like right in here. So then you kind of go like this, and it's ruined my cables because then you have to like this little bend right here, where if they were to just send a 90-degree cable, that would just eliminate to keep it a little bit neater. I had a whole cow yesterday over it. That was it. I just had a whole cow yesterday over it. So I ordered a 90-degree data cable because that's important. And then I also ordered another pouch just for my Rode Wireless Go-Tos because somebody's trying to get in contact with me from Philly. I ordered another pouch for my Rode Wireless Go-Tos because apparently, according to Gigi, if I remember correctly, she said that this is just trash with my cables for my Rode Wireless Go-Tos.
You have Rode Wireless Go-Tos?
I do.
Well, you can probably keep the bag for the cables, right?
Yeah.
And not have your microphones in there. That would help out. There's a case
Listen,
that I've
you
seen
missed
that
all of that
houses.
shit yesterday. Like 15 people were like, "Oh, I have the charging case for it. I have the case. I know. Gigi's told me about the case. Whatever."
Okay, so now it's just on you. The ball's in your court. You knew about it, so
I did. No, I did. So no. The case, and I'll show it tomorrow. Hopefully, it comes before my stream tomorrow. The case that I got for the Rode Wireless Go, it has like the styrofoam where they did the cutouts for specifically for each little receiver slash transmitter, and then it also comes with like pockets for like all the cables and stuff like that. So that's all coming tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll have my stuff out of the box because I did put it all back in the box in the corner there. So tomorrow
the
we'll be
worst
talking about
part,
that.
the worst part about the box was that you didn't even attempt to organize it. Like you just didn't even have like batteries like at the bottom, which are the heaviest, and just like there was no organization. It was literally like everything just in the.
Look at y'all. Look at y'all.
Hey,
But
girl,
not the
hey, it's a
charging
learning
case.
thing. You know what? If we didn't go through that yesterday, right, you wouldn't have already ordered the bags. You would have
Do you know
still
how many
already
times
been
I've
so.
looked at bags? I'm going to be honest with you because I have my stuff. Like I have a dedicated book bag for my cameras I have my lenses in there. Like I'm a bag girl. I bought a North Face book bag so I can use when I'm like cycling, when I just want to like hang out, that it's waterproof if I'm caught in the rain. I have my Coach book bag for I use for the bank. I have my camera book. I'm a bag. You would think. I've looked at bags like 2 weeks ago when I was in Angie's house. I was buying some stuff from Best Buy for her. I was in the camera section looking at the Peak bags, and I picked up a sling, and I was like, yeah, can this organize my stuff? Probably. I put it back. And I just put it all back till you guys started throwing shade. Whatever. Where did you get the case and which one? I got the case from Amazon. You guys are going to have to just come back tomorrow and see that all the spiciness when we just trying to help. because
Fact, though. You're just trying to
because
help. Like I said, if you already knew about the charging case, like now it's on you. Whether you get it or not, that's on you.
you know what? Let me see what else. You know what I'm going to do? And I don't know if I'm going to do a video. And this is kind of off topic, but not. I'm trying to think. So, like I cycle, I've been trying to be healthy and stuff like that. I have slacked off horribly in the last month and a half. I finding my groove. So I've dedicated my time with, of course, the content creation again. And then with the bank, we're just getting busier. And what has sucked, I can be an early bird. So what sucks with living on the Northeast is that with cycling, I can't cycle. I'm not trying to cycle right in 20, 30 degree weather. So that has also threw a damper on things. So when it starts to get nice again, I can wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, have 1 cup of coffee, and be on the road cycling at 5:45, be back by like 8 o'clock, and I'll got 20 miles in, burned like 800 calories, right? So I'm excited for that, but the last month and a half, I haven't been using my trainer. I've done nothing. There's this company, this smart fitness company. Now everybody's becoming, right, smart, intelligent. So it's a smart fitness company. It's called Tempo Fitness. And they have something called the Tempo Studio, which is like a glass mirror. You look at it with the camera and it has weights and stuff like that. And it's, kind of like the Peloton that you sign up for membership with the coaching and, all of that. But they also have the Tempo Move. The Tempo Move is 90 pounds or 45 pounds worth of weights. It's 90 pounds because it's 45 pounds worth of weights of dumbbells. But they're smart weights. And it comes with a little dock that you put your iPhone on. You connect it to your TV, and with the app, it uses the iPhone's LiDAR camera or whatever it does. It's like smart sensing. And when you're using the app on the TV, it counts your reps for you. And so like if I'm doing, this or whatever, the presses or whatever it is, it counts the reps and it shows it. And if you connect your heart rate monitor, it'll show it on the screen. And it comes with a really cool storage cabinet that it looks like a piece of furniture, like a super dope storage cabinet that you put the weights in there. So I ordered it. Normally it's $500. You know how the companies do. It's $500, but it's on sale now for $100 off. And it's been $100 off for like 3 or 4 months. So $4.90. I swear to God, it's been on sale for $4.95. And then if you get someone to refer you, you each get. So I get $100, and that person who referred me, they get $100 when I sign up. And there's a whole Reddit community of people trying to give they're like affiliate links. I swear to God. Listen, that shit, I went to it. That worked. I got in contact with someone. We DM'd each other, and she was like, here's my link. Let me know. And she was like waiting for me to sign up for it. So I got the storage cabinet. So let's think about it from the weights perspective. I got two barbells, the cuffs, the weights, and all of that stuff, and 45 pounds that can be on each for $295 with the little iPhone camera. That I said, even if I don't do, so the membership, it's $39 a month. And they have crazy classes. Like they have yoga, they have HIIT, they have cardio, they have all of that stuff. And then you can put up to 6 people on the membership. But anyway, because we're wrapping up. But thank you so much, guys. Everybody's leaving. But what I was saying was I have it upstairs. It got delivered the day before yesterday. And I have it upstairs. I'm going to bring it downstairs because that's why another reason why I got the projector. Because like on that side of the room, that's going to be like my little workout space. So I was like, do I do a live stream and I just unbox it to you guys and show it? Or do I do a video? I'm like kind of on the fence on what I want to do with that. But anyway.
Right now,
Yes.
because you're doing this challenge, everything should be a live stream. Just think about it like that, because you can always go back and recut what you've recorded on a live stream and make it a fancier video if you want. But you also do not want to put a like speed bump or like a hindrance in the challenge that you got already. Because 100 days, look, I did 30 days and I was like, whew, right?
Yeah.
And you're doing 3 times that plus 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you're doing a quarter of the year, like business while you're doing a 3-month stint.
Excuse me.
Plus 10 days sprinkled in on top of it. So that is, commendable. And like I said, I've been doing it every week, and that's been tough, right? Because there's some weeks where life puts a lot of challenges in front of you and a lot of things. And like I said, sometimes the challenges are the reason why you don't feel like, hey, I want to go live.
Yeah.
And those have been the times that when I do, it's been to my benefit. Right?
Yeah.
So I always say, just my biggest advice is stick with it. If you have an idea for video, know
just
that
do it on a live
it's
stream.
for a live stream.
Yeah.
Especially right now. Everything else you'll learn how you can, how you can build or like take away from your workflow.
Yeah.
While you're doing it. It's like there's this like a story that keeps going around. Basically, an art class was divided in half, and after 30 days, they were required to make a vase, right, out of clay. Half, like the left side of the class, was told that they had to read as much information, but they were only able to produce one clay vase.
Yeah.
And the other half was to read no instructions,
and just
but
practice.
They had to produce a vase every day. So they had to produce 30 vases, and they had to produce like only one in the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So the best vase that was judged by everyone came from the side that took 0 education in it, and everything was learned by experience. Because the experience is going to teach you so much more than reading any book. And a lot of times, like live streaming,
the wrong one. Go ahead.
You have to put in the work.
Yeah.
Like you have to put in the work. Like I can read all the fitness books, right? And know how to do the perfect curl.
Right.
But unless I actually have the weights and do the work myself, I'm not going to get a result.
Right.
Yeah. You don't get six-pack abs by reading about six-pack abs.
Exactly.
Okay?
And posting pictures. Exactly. Chill.
Photoshop. You learn how to read how to Photoshop. And
that's it. You'll be good.
300.
That's so funny. But I did think about that with what you're saying, and I have it planned. Obviously, this was the first week, so it was to, get everybody accustomed, get into my flow. But then for the next weeks ahead, it's not going to be every day because I will bring guests on and stuff like that. But like next week, I'm going to start doing like Canva tutorials because I became a Canva affiliate. So it was like, all right, cool. So if I have a structure and I'm just going to do very simple, like on Monday, we're probably just going to do creating a lower third for Ecamm on Canva, or just creating a lower third in general, OBS, Ecamm, whatever it is. And then go through the motions. And I have this in my head. It's just, I'm going to start it next week of doing the, SEO tag research and all of that. So like that, although it'll be a live stream, as long as I'm structured and I'm on brand, people can use it and they're still going to find it and I can just get new content from there. So like next week is going to be Canva. Then the week after I'm going to do comparing Fantastical, the calendar that I use, and because they have a replacement for Calendly. We're going to talk about Rebrandly another day, right? And just make sure that I at least have my talking points, have visuals on the screen, make sure I do the right tags and the right SEO research. So like that, if someone who wants to look for Calendly, they can still come up on my live stream. And as long as I'm even going to I watched Alex's video. I'm even going to get it to the point where I'm also going to do the time markers, the timestamps on the YouTube video after the live stream, after the fact. So if someone does find it, because I did the proper tag research and stuff like that, if they want to know, they can just start jumping to it. So that's like my vision ultimately for the 100 days. Just gotta.
That's great, because
in the work.
even I need help with that. Like,
yeah. So
I'll tell you the truth, when it comes to like channel or going back on my live streams
Yeah.
and putting like the timestamps.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's
Right, exactly.
definitely something I
I've
need
done
help
it
with,
once. I've done it once. But the one time I did do it, I knew that the video was good enough to do. So I did do it on one live stream where I was, for the most part, focused. And I went from this. It was, I don't know, maybe one of the unboxings, the microphone unboxings. I did do it once, but that's what my intention is. Once next week comes around and it's going to be a topic specifically, is like, all right, I'm going to make sure I have my talking points, stick to it. And then, how like Doc does that at the end, we'll catch up and stuff like that. But I want to try to make sure that for repurposed content, because I'm not going to have time to record a video and edit a video on top of because I won't, right?
Yeah, you just got to be realistic, right? Like, you
That's it.
also need to take care of you as well.
Yeah.
And you need to eat and, do
Yes.
other things
And
that
cycle,
are
because
required.
Java season is coming. I'm gonna be cycling. Like, that's gonna be a big thing. Like on Saturdays and Sundays, we're gonna be out. And that's why I also want to make sure that I'm prepared to have my stuff, because then it'll be all right. So today I'll just live stream with the iPhone and I'll have the Rode Wireless Go, and then at least I can still get on there and do whatever it is,
Mhm.
All right, bro. Well, this was great. Any last departing words? We had fun.
Oh, of course we had fun. This was hilarious. But
It was hilarious. You
if
were
I could,
crying at some point, bro. You were
what happened?
crying. That you were crying from
course.
tears, from dying laughing, bro.
Oh, please. So many things like that happened on this stream that I'm like, oh, that I know are
That
gonna
shit
live
was
on
good.
in infamy.
That shit was
They're gonna
good.
But I just
Good.
want to thank you for having me here.
Yep.
It was really a pleasure to be able to spend this time here with you, and I'm glad
Thank
that I
you.
was able to give you at least a little something to help
Yes.
you out with your challenge.
I appreciate that. No, it was great. You gave me more than enough stuff. You definitely gave the community stuff. Like, I mean, even when you were talking, just with the stuff that you said, that's perfect just to like repurpose in and of itself and just use that. So when I get around to that, right, like it's all challenges of going in and cutting snippets and then repurposing that. That's a whole nother challenge. But Lewis's secret so what came of this live stream is Lewis's secret marriage and a Tinder account. That's what came about. All right, y'all. Have a good night.
I guess we'll leave it there, right?
That's it. We're gonna leave it there.
For
Today
those
we got
of you who want to know more information, Mr. Camera Junkie on all
That's
social
it.
media profiles.
That's it, exactly right. And on his Tinder account, you'll find him on Mr. Camera Junkie.
Oh my God! I dread to
96
see the
days
day.
down today. So when we come back tomorrow will be day 5 of the live streaming challenge, and we will be at 95 days to go. I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. I will catch you guys mañana.